Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Ranking every Super Bowl champion team from 1 to 59. The Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 59. There have now been 59 Super Bowls since the NFL champion first took on the AFL champion after the 1966 season, which means we have 59 teams in this exclusive club. How do the 2024 Eagles stack up? To rank these teams, I used my proprietary DVOA ratings, explained further here, that look at efficiency on a play-by-play basis adjusted for situation and opponent. For teams prior to the start of DVOA in 1978, I estimated DVOA ratings based on Pro Football Reference's simple rating system plus the average margin of victory during the postseason. There's also an adjustment for the first 4 Super Bowl champions to reflect that the NFL was stronger than the AFL before the merger. Let's start with a team from the 1970s. This was the first season after the merger, and the NFC was still far superior to the AFC. According to Pro Football Reference, the Colts had the second easiest schedule of the 1970 season. Despite that schedule, they outscored opponents by just 6.2 points per game and finished the regular season 14th in PFR's simple rating system. Johnny Unitas, in his final season as the starter, threw more interceptions, 18, than touchdown passes, 10. In the playoffs, the Colts shut out the Bengals 17-0 and beat the Raiders 27-17, but then needed a last-minute field goal to beat the NFC champion Dallas Cowboys 16-13 in Super Bowl V. The 2011 Giants are the only Super Bowl champion in history to get outscored during the regular season, although they did face the third toughest schedule that season and thus finished 13th in regular season DVOA. They lost 4 straight games in the middle of the season to drop from 6-2 to 6-6, but then finished 3-1 and won a very mediocre NFC East at 9-7. In the playoffs, the Giants had big wins over the Falcons and Packers and survived the 49ers in overtime. In Super Bowl 46, the Giants pulled off a 21-17 win against a Patriots team that had the worst defense to ever play in a Super Bowl. You know the story. The Patriots started 0-2, Drew Bledsoe got hurt, Tom Brady came in, and a legend was born. But the Patriots were far from a great team at the start of the dynasty, finishing just 11th in both offensive and defensive DVOA that season. They ranked 29th in the NFL in schedule strength. All 3 of their playoff victories came by just 1 score, and of course the divisional round win over Oakland required overtime, a lot of snow and a couple of legendary field goals. They beat the Rams 20-17 in Super Bowl 36. This team had the lowest regular season DVOA of any Super Bowl champion, in part because I don't count the 3 games, all wins, with replacement players during the players' strike. Washington ended the season 8th on offense with a below-average defense and special teams for a total DVOA of just 4.2%. They also escaped their first 2 playoff games with close victories, beating the Bears by just 4 points and the Vikings by 7. But they destroyed the Broncos 42-10 in Super Bowl 22, and that's why they don't come in on the bottom of this list. While 1987 Washington had the lowest regular season DVOA of any Super Bowl champion, the 2007 Giants had the lowest rank, coming in just 15th at 4.5% DVOA. They finished second in the NFC East behind the Cowboys but went on a legendary run through the playoffs. The victories were close, but they all came on the road over teams that were fantastic during the regular season. They beat number 8 Tampa Bay 24-14, number 3 Dallas 21-17 and number 4 Green Bay 23-20. And of course, the piece de resistance was the 17-14 victory over the previously undefeated number 1 Patriots in Super Bowl 42. This team was less impressive than you might think, considering it finished the regular season 13-3. As with the Patriots, the first championship team of the 49ers dynasty was clearly the weakest. The 49ers were 7-2 in one-score games in the regular season and finished only 10th in DVOA. They were in the top 8 for both offense and defense, dragged down by an awful special teams unit. The 49ers needed 2 more one-score wins in the postseason, first the catch leading to a 28-27 win over the Cowboys, 5th in DVOA, and then a 26-21 victory over the Bengals, 3rd in DVOA, in Super Bowl XVI. Super shocker for Jerry Jones, Cowboys not in Super Bowl 59. Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones is in New Orleans for Super Bowl 59 and the accompanying festivities, but the trip hasn't been exactly what he expected, apparently. In an interview with The Athletic, Jones said it is a shocker that his team isn't in the big game, especially after he invested a total of $376 million, including $331 million in guarantees in contract extensions for Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. "I wouldn't have signed Dak Prescott, the highest-paid player in the NFL, if now wasn't when we wanted to win," Jones said. "This is a shocker to be here at the Super Bowl and not have the Cowboys here. I didn't plan on that when I made that agreement with him. So we're going to do everything we can to get there." Instead, the Cowboys finished the regular season at 7-10, and Prescott suffered a season-ending hamstring injury in Week 9. Head coach Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys split after the season, with Brian Schottenheimer being promoted from offensive coordinator to head coach. Jones told The Athletic he has all the confidence in Schottenheimer. "I looked at 25 years of being on many staffs in the NFL," Jones said of his new coach. "I looked at sitting around that dinner table with his daddy, Marty Schottenheimer, and I know what osmosis does. It doesn't fall far from the tree." Will the 49ers trade for Dallas Cowboys linebacker Micah Parsons? Another elite edge rusher could be available on the trade market. First, Myles Garrett requested a trade out of Cleveland. Now, the Cowboys reportedly have discussed the possibility of trading Micah Parsons, according to the NFL Network's Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport. Normally open with his opinions, the Cowboys' 25-year-old superstar hasn't said much of anything about the team's promotion of Brian Schottenheimer after a surprise parting of ways with head coach Mike McCarthy, a move Parsons called devastating, write Pelissero and Rappaport. While there have been no trade talks, sources say there have at least been some internal discussions about whether to pay Parsons or trade him for a king's ransom. If the Cowboys are willing to listen, they may get it. Cowboys COO Stephen Jones told NFL.com in December that the team will study the wisdom of having so much money invested in so few players, but added, "I can't imagine there's a scenario where he's not wearing a star on his helmet." Parsons is due about $24 million on the fifth-year option year on his rookie contract in 2025. He's also just 25 years old. Some rookies this season will be 24. Parsons hasn't even reached his prime yet, and he already is one of the best players in the league. He has 52.5 sacks in just 4 career seasons. The 49ers could offer Deebo Samuel and 2 first-round picks to Dallas for Parsons. That might get the deal done. And you, fan? What do you think of Micah Parsons? Leave your opinion in the comments.